Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. A Lloydminster man is facing a disciplinary hearing from the Mutual Fund Dealers Association of Canada. The notice of hearing states Guy Dunning is facing 5 violations of the bylaws, rules or policies of the MFDA, including allegedly misappropriating or failing to account for client money or failing to cooperate with an investigation by MFDA staff. It also states that Dunning allegedly engaged in misconduct, which included obtaining approximately $465,000 from 3 clients for investment that he deposited into either his own accounts or the investment account of another client. Lloydminster RCMP also say they have an active file on the situation but would not comment further. Mr. Dunning also stated he did not want to comment at this time. Information on the upcoming hearing is posted on the MFDA website. 2 more people who tested positive for COVID-19 in Saskatchewan have died. One was in the 80-plus age group in our Northwest Zone, and one was in the 70 to 79 age group in the Central East. There are 74 new cases in the province, including 4 in the Northwest. 3 of those cases are in the immediate Lloydminster area, where we have 11 active cases. There are 726 active cases in Saskatchewan, with 92 in the Northwest. Our zone still has the 3rd highest number of active cases in the province, behind only Saskatoon and Regina. 92 people are in hospital, including 10 in the Northwest. 1 person is in intensive care in our zone. More than 922,000 vaccine doses have been administered in Saskatchewan, with over 58,000 in our zone. After city emptying in 2020, a popular summer attraction is opening up again in Lloydminster. Our Jace Mackey has more on the reopening of the outdoor pool.
Uncertainty surrounding COVID restrictions last summer left the city's outdoor pool closed for the year. With the warm weather we've been experiencing now was a perfect time to reopen the pool. The pool will be open from 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on weekdays and noon to 7 on weekends. After the Canada Day long weekend, the pool will operate daily from 12:30 to 7:30. Mayor Gerald Albers is thrilled to see this attraction reopen in the city.
I'd really like to show you the smile underneath this mask. It's so exciting for our community, for the young people, for families, for grandparents to be able to go and enjoy their grandkids in a public setting.
The outdoor pool isn't the only outdoor attraction open in Lloydminster, as the spray park at Bud Miller opened at the start of the month. Both require patrons to follow public health rules, including staying home if you're sick, keeping 2 meters of distance from people outside your household, and sanitizing your hands before and after use. Family swim bookings for the pool can be made 24 hours in advance at lloydminster.ca/register.
I think our community's long waited for that. They're excited. I know kids are winding up school. Summer's here. We've had some incredible warmth, had some rain. It's just time to get back to life as we used to know it.
With Saskatchewan moving through the steps of their reopening roadmap, more summer events will be coming to the border, including a scaled-down fair. While enjoying these amenities this year will be different, Mayor Albers is happy the city is getting closer to normal.
Those are all things that bring back summer to many people and that normalness, because we missed the summer and we're not going to be able to make it up, but we can at least enjoy what we have.
For Primetime Local News, I'm Jace Mackey.
2 Holy Rosary High School students finished first at the National Skills Canada competition for videography. It is the first national championship for the school and the last competition for these 2 students. Connor Chan has more.
This final gold medal for Sierra Bennett and Mackenzie DiCrescenzo at Nationals marks the final time the dynamic duo will be collaborating as high schoolers. They have swept every competition this year, and while they are finished in a few weeks at Holy Rosary, the 2 were able to share their final victory with their families.
It's just so rewarding to see all of this hard work pay off, and it's a very bittersweet moment, because as proud and thankful I am to have won nationals, I'm really sad that this is my last year competing. I want to do it more and more, for sure.
So it was nice having our family there to celebrate, because we should have been in Quebec on like a national stage, but it was nice to be in our school where it all started, so we could end our journey where it all began.
The video assignment at Nationals was naming 5 ways the education system has changed during COVID, while adding some trademark Sierra and Mackenzie editing techniques. Winning gold at nationals has been planted in their minds since they began competing back in grade 10, and the growth and results of their videos proves it, with 5 gold medals and a national title to their name.
I like to pick grade 10s every year that I go, just because then you have 3 years to kind of build them up. I also look for kids that are very, very coachable. So someone that they can take any feedback that I give them and they can build on it. Also someone that's very self-motivated and they're very determined. I'll tell them one thing and they'll spend hours working on it to get better and to perfect their skills.
For Mackenzie and Sierra, this final win brings the most emotion, as this marks a farewell to their teacher who helped mentor and guide them over the last 3 years. The two students, while best friends, are thankful that they did this journey together.
Like, without her and her mentorship and constant encouragement, like, we would not have made it as far as we did. She's taught me everything I know, and I'm just so thankful for her mentorship, and she's literally an idol to me.
It's really nice to do it with like your best friend by your side. So as happy as I am to like win this national competition, it's also sort of sad that like it's all come to an end, but at least like we did it and we can say that we did it together.
Connor Chan, Primetime Local News.
This school year has been tough for students and staff around Lloydminster, and in this week's Beyond the Classroom, we take a look at how the Lloydminster Public School Division is celebrating their students.
LPSD students from across Lloydminster have risen to face all the challenges of this new world and have become truly super.
This week at Rendell Park School, they celebrated Superhero Day. With all the changes the students had to deal with, Superhero Day is a reminder of all the work the kids did this year.
We are celebrating the resiliency in children over the global pandemic and just showing them all how truly super they are for all of the hard work and just resiliency they've shown us over this time.
The teachers held superhero-themed activities for the students and encouraged them to dress up in costumes. The staff wanted a way they could celebrate their students in a fun way.
I think it's really important because the kids have really worked hard this year to show us that even with wearing masks and just having to sanitize and do all these extra things that they've had to do this year, they've proved to us that they can be resilient and make it through any tough situation that is placed upon them.
Even though the students and staff are hoping they can go back to normal in the 2021-22 school year, the teachers think students should be recognized for their hard work every year.
Students should always be celebrated as super because they really always show us how capable they are of making it through difficult times. I haven't got a chance to mingle with a lot of the other students around the school this year, but my students specifically have truly been fantastic through all of this, and I'm just so proud of them.
And that's it for this week's Beyond the Classroom.
Beyond the Classroom is brought to you by Lakeland College, home to the most hands-on education in Canada. Apply today and graduate job ready.
Now our Connor Chan will take a first look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. A little bit cooler today compared to yesterday. We're not in the heat warning anymore. We're still back to seasonal averages. The winds picked up, though, quite a bit here, close to 40 kilometers an hour, as we are going to start to see some showers make their way through northern Saskatchewan as well. For us here, we could see lots of heavy rain in some parts of the prairies, and including for us, we could see those showers finally back here into Lloydminster. Looking at some other temperatures in the area right now, 22 degrees out in Vermilion and Vegreville, with 21 in Marwayne, St. Paul, Bonnyville, and Cold Lake, 20 degrees in Lac La Biche, and lots of 22s around most of the prairies here, as we see that in Provost, Macklin, North Battleford, and in Maidstone as well, with a ridge of 21s up in St. Walburg, Meadow Lake, and Mile Across. That warm air that we did see yesterday, of course, is making its way more so into southern parts of the U.S. and looking to those satellite radar maps right now. A little bit more activity in terms of precipitation right now into those northern, far north Saskatchewan areas where they could see lots of heavy rain along with northern Alberta. Some systems are making its way through those parts of Alberta where we are going to start to see more cloud coverage and showers throughout the next couple of days. So taking a look to the next couple of hours or so into North Battleford, overnight 12 degrees, a little bit of cloud coverage. Going into 14 degrees tomorrow, drops quite a bit there. We go from 22 to 14 tomorrow in North Battleford. The wind still kind of staying pretty heavy right now with winds over 30 kilometers an hour. Looking at Cold Lake. Overnight, we could see some showers making their way in those parts of the northern Alberta as they are part of that trend there, with 14 also for tomorrow with some rain. And then for us here in Lloydminster, could see a little bit of showers overnight tonight at 12 degrees. Then we'll see mostly cloud coverage throughout the day tomorrow with that high of 14 degrees. Now, as we look ahead to the next couple of days here into the weekend, we are going to start to see some rain possibly on Friday and Saturday with the highs of 18 degrees for Friday and 17 for Saturday. And we are going to start to warm up quite a bit going into next week. But for right now, we're going to have to still deal with a little bit less than ideal temperatures that we want for the month of June. That's a look at your weather forecast for now. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Week 2 of the North Saskatchewan River Baseball League saw the Lloydminster Twins and the Border City Blue Jays face off Tuesday night. The Twins were coming off a loss in their first game, while the Jays were looking for 2 wins in a row. Evan Kenny has more from the Legion Ball Diamonds.
The battle on the border. 11-time and most recent NSRBL champions, the Lloydminster Twins were looking to get back to their winning ways against crosstown rivals and 2-time champs, the Border City Blue Jays. Neither team had allowed more than 2 runs in their first game. The Twins were looking to continue that trend with ace pitcher Jaden Gardner on the mound. Gardner allowed 3 hits and 2 runs in the first inning, but bounced back to allow just 2 hits after that point.
No, it was a good start. I'm happy with it. Team had my back, so I can't ask anything more than that.
While the Blue Jays got their bats going early, their defense wasn't able to reciprocate.
It was tough to get the bats going outside of the first inning, but I felt the boys battled pretty hard. We did our best out there, and we just weren't able to capitalize on a few situations in the game. Beginning, start, and end, and it just ended up being the difference of the day tonight. So.
Yeah, it was a great team effort. We came ready to play, and it was good to come out with a W.
The game avoided the rain, but that didn't stop the floodgates from opening. The Twins would score 3 runs in the first and fourth inning, en route to a 7-2 victory.
It's anything can go in this game, so we just bear down and stuck to what we do best, and that's put ball in play and to take good at bats and play defense.
This is the lone time the 2 Lloydminster teams will meet up, but have the chance to play again in playoffs starting August 12th. Each team will play once again on Thursday night, with the Lloydminster Twins in St. Walburg and the Border City Blue Jays in Mervyn. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now we will be taking a look at your pet pad pictures. Thank you to everyone who submitted them to our page, and you can do so throughout the week, and we will be giving away a pet pad gift card on Friday.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
It's time now for another segment of Healthy Thriving Families into Homes with Stephanie Dobson. Stephanie is a local lawyer and mediator here in Lloydminster with Henkin Divorce Law and Mediation. And Stephanie, we've talked about a number of different subjects over the past several months in regarding to divorce and separation, but this one is one we haven't touched on yet, and it's regarding pets. And this can be a huge issue for some couples going through the process. So let's talk about how that works. Can you actually get custody or shared custody of pets?
With respect to pets, although we see them as living beings, unfortunately, the law treats them differently. The law treats them as personal property in a separation and divorce. So it is divided similar to how you divide a house or a bank account or even such not menial things like a toaster. It's a very difficult way, of course, to look at a living being who's a loving member of your family. But unfortunately, that's how the law treats pets in the context of a separation and divorce.
Now, if there is a dispute, Stephanie, and it ends up going to court, what does that look like?
So just like the resolution of any property dispute, the question is going to be who will keep the asset. And in this case, the asset is the pet. And the question is who will be the owner of that pet going forward. So it's not necessarily as much about sharing the pet, it's about determining ownership for a court. Now, how does this ownership get determined? There's a number of factors, and I'm going to list a few of them here. Of course, it's a non-exhaustive list. Things like who paid for the pet? So can you show a receipt that has your name or your credit card on it? Or can you prove that the pet was a gift to you or to someone? Whose name is at the vet's office? And even who generally takes care of the pet. So there's a lot of factors that you look at if a court were to try to determine who would keep that pet.
And if it gets to the point where you just can't come to an agreement and you don't really want to go through court, are there other options for dealing with this, Stephanie?
Absolutely. There's a lot of times, of course, people are quite offended when they think that, or when they realize that their pet will be treated as personal property, as I said, like a toaster. And so people want to resolve things out of court. And in other episodes, we've talked lots about out of court options like collaborative divorce, mediation, the do-it-yourself option like sitting at the kitchen table. So if you're wanting to get a divorce professional involved, mediation or collaborative divorce would be the options that I would recommend, because it's about generating options that's going to work for both separating spouses as far as how to reach resolution. So, there are people who will take the isolated issue of a pet dispute if they decide they wanted to use a lawyer for the rest of their divorce, but they want to use a mediator to resolve their pet dispute. There are some times where people will refer even just that one issue to me as a mediator.
Now, if there are things that are happening and people aren't going through the divorce and separation process, but still have pets, and things can happen in the future, as we all know, are there issues that they can be dealing with and steps they can be taking to deal with their pets and some of the things surrounding pets before it gets to a point where there may be a dispute of some sort?
People often don't plan when they're just even generally, forgetting pets for a moment, even just generally when they're living together, when they get married. Some people will enter what's called a cohabitation agreement or a prenuptial agreement for generally a lot of different things. But very often when people purchase a pet, they forget about adding a pet or the relationship that they would maintain with that pet post-separation or divorce into such an agreement if they've even made one. So I would recommend that whether separation or divorce is looming or not, when you get a pet, it's really important to have these kind of conversations. So what kinds of things would you want to talk about with respect to your relationship, your maintained relationship with that pet going forward? So here's some examples. Who would be making the major decisions with respect to the pet post-separation or divorce? Things like, surgeries, healthcare, nutrition, even things like discipline or training of the pet. Will you continue to share the pet, or will one of you keep the pet after the separation? If you are planning on keeping the pet, would there be a schedule? Even things like vacations. When one person goes on vacations, would there be an opportunity for the other person to automatically keep the pet, like childcare or pet care, we'll call it. So it does sound very much like parenting related issues post-separation or divorce. But your pet is a living being. It's a member of your family. And what I hope that we can do is to create that environment where we do treat a pet like that living being, like the children, and keep it out of the court context so that we can continue to do so.
Well, Stephanie, always interesting speaking with you, because there's just a number of issues that you just don't think about when it comes to, as you said today, even with pets, even if you're not separating and divorcing. So thank you once again for bringing these issues to us and for speaking with us today. And we'll be back again to chat next week.
Thanks, Stacey.
I'm joined here today with Glenn Fagnan to speak about Lloydminster Ribfest 2021 coming up this Friday. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime. So, has any plans changed for Ribfest that people need to know about before this weekend?
No, I think we're right on schedule. We're set up to be opened Friday morning at 11 a.m. and we are going to open every morning at 11 till 8 p.m. per night, and that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and of course Sunday being Father's Day. So yeah, no, everything is on schedule. We're pleased as pie.
Perfect. And how has the process been this week, especially to get the event up and going for Friday?
Yeah, it's always a little bit of a mad dash. You've always got little things that happen and little curveballs thrown at you, but we've had great support from all our sponsors, and we've had good support from our board and everything, getting everything all ready. So it's actually been pretty smooth, and we're pretty happy to this point. Everything so far so good.
And since we last spoke with you a few months ago for Ribfest this year, how has support been till now from residents?
Yeah, it's really quite amazing. Every time I'm talking to people, everybody is well aware of it. We had a really good rib fest there last year. Our rib guys, they did a fantastic job, put out great quality food. And the service was fast, even though there was long lineups. People were getting through, in 15 minutes or so, and in the relaxation of their car. So there was lots on social media last year. We didn't have to do anything. They talked it all up, and our rib guys know that they've got to live up to that again this year. And so they're all aware. The pressure's on them to redo this again, and we're very, very excited for the community and for our nonprofit.
Yes, I'm sure there's some high expectations out there now for this year. And since there still will be a drive-through for this year, is there anything different that you'll be doing compared to last year's Ribfest?
No, it's exactly the same. No, exactly the same. It was a good. We had a good combination there last year, and we just kept it continued. So everything went well, and there's no sense messing around with success.
And now with vaccinations and restrictions changing, what's the hope for next year for Ribfest?
Well, we are hoping for a live event. So that would be, that was our goal initially when we signed up, a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. That's what it was supposed to be. And of course, we had to the word pivot. We had to pivot and change the format. So yeah, we're looking at having a live event, stage, a beer gardens, different events that are going on for 3 days. There again, it'll all be free as far as the entrance go, but we'll have an opportunity to showcase a lot of local talent as far as on the music side of things, and also different different organizations and clubs, and perhaps some of our younger dancers, and just really get the community involved. And our whole goal on this is really to have this as a long-term annual event in Lloydminster, and have it driven in from the regions. And so that's we want to make it a regional event, and something that's known, Lloydminster is known for.
And from your own perspective, how would you say how it's been going from having these events the past 2 years just through COVID-19, seeing how strong the support has still been from residents?
Yeah, something, the Lloydminster is just a wonderful community, and they show support all the time for the nonprofits. It's not only a great time to have, something different and, something fresh as far as on the rib side of things, and a great meal. A lot of people are doing it for the nonprofit. And that's what we're hoping next year as well, Shelby, is we're going to have some other nonprofits. We've been in discussions with some nonprofits that would be part of the live event, and then they would take part, and we would be sharing that, and just having more of an effect within the community.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Glenn?
No, I think everything is set. We've this year is a little different. We did get we've gotten some more sponsors. We have a title sponsor, which is Southern Spur Enterprises, and it's very appreciative that they've come on to give us the support. And of course, Stingray has been instrumental in that as well, as far as helping us out on the media side of things, and some of our other local stations. So we've just had really good support, and I just like to invite everybody out and come out and see what everybody's talking about. It's great, and we hope that you'll get your dad out there over the weekend. Give him a break.
Perfect. Well, thanks again for joining me today, Glenn.
Thank you, Shelby. Have a great day.
All right, as we take a look here for the weekend here, fortunately for Ribfest, it may get a little bit cooler and rain expected for Friday and Saturday, but for Sunday it should stop. Hopefully you can go out and get some of those ribs out in person there at that high of 18 degrees. We'll still see some cloud coverage though, as we are still going to be pretty cool going into next week. 23 degrees on Monday, 25 on Tuesday, and then 21 degrees on Wednesday to wrap up the 7 days.
Thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News. Have a great night.